Hi everyone, I'm Tashina from Logical Harmony. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited because today's video is being sponsored by iHerb. I've been an iHerb customer for a few years, and so when they reached out and wanted to work together on a sponsored video, I was really excited about it. Like I said, I've used them for years. It's such an easy shopping experience. So if you guys have never shopped on iHerb before, they do have over 30,000 products. Like I said, it's literally everything. At least it feels like everything. I buy a lot of essential oils on there. I buy tea. I buy some skincare and makeup. There's some products that are hard to find elsewhere, and I can usually find it on iHerb. And they do ship to over 160 countries. Because I'm in California, I get my orders really quickly, usually within 2 days of ordering, which is super duper nice and super helpful. So I know if there's something I need immediately, it's a place I can depend on for fast shipping. And when you do need support, because I've needed it before from them, they're super helpful and they offer customer support in 10 languages, which I think is really amazing as well. And so when they reached out and they wanted me to review their line Azelique Cosmetics, I couldn't say no. I was very intrigued by this line. So a little bit about Azelique is they're cruelty-free, they're vegan, and it's also gluten-free. I know that that's a concern for some of you out there. And iHerb sent me the entire line to test out. And so today you're going to see how I got this look using these products. And I'm just gonna share my thoughts on them and my experience using them. For this look, I did start with the Skin Smoothing Face Primer. I really like this primer because it feels like a moisturizer. It doesn't feel slinky. It just feels really nice. It absorbs into the skin very easily. And it just, if you have dry skin, my skin is more on the dry side. If your skin is like mine, or if your skin is dry, it just adds that extra layer of moisture that you really need. And I think this too would be a great primer to try under other foundations as well that might be a little more drying for your skin. The primer doesn't have any sort of a scent to it, which I liked, and that was something I tried to pay attention to, and it just went on really evenly. For foundation, I used the Illuminating Tinted Moisturizer in both light and medium, and I just kind of mixed them together. I did mostly light and then added in a little bit of medium to shade match myself a bit better. I feel like this is different than a lot of tinted moisturizers that I've used. This has more pigment to it. It has more coverage, and I felt like it was easier to apply as well. So when I applied this today, first I used my fingers to just dab it all over my face. I blended it out with a brush, and then I used a beauty sponge to do the final blend. And for me, that is the best way to get good coverage out of this. I like my full coverage foundations, and when I was testing this out, I really wanted to see if I could build up the coverage. And I noticed if you apply it just with your fingers, it gives you really nice sheer coverage. So if you do one pump with your fingers, it really just evens out the skin tone. It does illuminate, especially if you mix it with the primer. My skin felt really hydrated and soft. Adding a second pump did definitely help with the coverage, and using a brush to blend that out really helps you control that coverage as well. So you can kind of just pat it into your skin, and that helps you put more product where you want it to be and really build up coverage. And then finishing with the makeup sponge just takes off any excess product and just helps everything blend a little more smoothly. Since I did mix 2 shades, I also wanted to do it for that reason as well. I feel like with this, I did about 2.5 pumps total between the two, and it just gives such nice coverage. You can definitely still see my skin through it. You can see my freckles, but everything just looks very smooth. It's covered any red spots that I had, any blemishes. I didn't need to spot conceal, and I was really impressed with this for that reason. A lot of the tinted moisturizers that I've tried go on a bit streaky, the coverage fades throughout the day. They just don't tend to look as nice throughout the day as foundation does, and I feel like this looks as nice as the foundation, and it blends nice. It works with a variety of concealers. I've tried it with other primers and it works fine with them too. So I think this is probably my favorite out of the line. It does only come in 4 shades, and I really hope that they expand their shade range because I can see this being a product that a lot of people would want to use, and I hope that they make that possible. To set my face, I used the Pressed Powder Satin Foundation in the shade Light. I'm really impressed with this powder foundation. A lot tend to be really cakey on my skin and just accentuate my dry spots, and because of the primer being so moisturizing as well, it like counteracts any sort of dryness that this would accentuate. So I feel like this, because it does have a tint to it, it really helps you build up more coverage as well, which I really enjoy, and I just really like how it looks. It helps keep any oil or shine at bay throughout the day. You'll notice when I apply it, it does really mattify my skin, and it definitely adds some extra coverage, and I just really like it. I think the formula is very smooth. It's pigmented, but it's not overly pigmented. It's very easy to blend, and it wears really well throughout the day as well, which I was very impressed by. It didn't get cakey anywhere. Sometimes I have a problem with powder getting cakey here in between my eyebrows or sometimes like on my cheeks, and this doesn't do that, which I've been really happy with. Personally, because my skin is on the dry side, I'm very, very picky with powder foundations. Most simply do not work for me, and I was honestly really impressed by this one. I haven't tried it on its own. I've only used it with this tinted moisturizer. I did use it with another foundation and it worked well then, so I'm definitely curious to see how this would work. And I could see if you have oily skin and you need to touch up throughout the day, this being a nice way to do that without taking away any of your coverage. For my bronzer today, I used their shade Tan Deep, which I think works pretty nicely as a bronzer. It's a little bit warm, but it's not enough to be orange. It just gives you a nice natural color. Again, just like with the tinted moisturizer, I do wish that they had more shades because I can see this being a product a lot of people would really enjoy. I do think these are better than most powder foundations that I've used, so I just wish they had more shades so that more people could enjoy them. But I thought the finish was really nice. It lasts well throughout the day. I don't have to do touch-ups, and if I want to, it's very, very easy. They do also have a mirror in the compact as well, and while I used a brush to apply them, they do come with this little sponge if you want to go that route as well. For my lips today, I used the shade Stay Nude. They do have 4 different lipsticks in this line, and I think they do a good variety of colors as well. There's a nude, there's a red, there's a kind of plummy shade, and a pinkish shade as well. The formula is really smooth. You guys know I love lipsticks. I have a ton of lipsticks, and I like when they're lightweight, especially if it's a nude shade. I want it to be lightweight. I want it to be moisturizing. They are a satin finish, which I know can be hit or miss for people. I don't mind it at all. I think it's nice because I also think it is part of what makes it so moisturizing. It goes on really easily and it doesn't wear off super, super quickly. If I'm gonna go all day, I do need to touch it up. It's not like a super long lasting lipstick, but I enjoy the color and I do enjoy the formula. And for lip gloss, I used the shade Coral Crush. Their lip glosses smell like pineapple, and I really, really liked that as well. There are 4 shades in the gloss. 3 of them have glitter in them, and they're all like that nice glossy, buttery finish. I find that they're very sheer as a lip gloss, so it's just a tiny bit of color. So if you want to try some of the other shades, it's just gonna give you like a sheer wash. It's not gonna be like a full-on bam pigmented lip gloss, but they're very thin in consistency, which makes them also not sticky, which I enjoy. I think they pair well with the lipsticks. I think they did a really great job of picking complementary shades to each other. They also are shades you could mix and match if you wanted. Since I did get to try all the products in the line, I wanted to share my thoughts on just the line as a whole and how I think about it. I really appreciate that it's at iHerb. I think they are at great prices. It's amazing to see a cruelty-free, vegan, gluten-free brand that's so easily accessible, especially at a place that I shop. It's always nice to see new additions. I think it is a good start for the company. I think their formulations are pretty solid. I think they're gonna work for a lot of people. Again, just like I mentioned with the foundations, I wish they had a bigger shade range, and I hope that comes in the future because I can see this being a line that a lot of people really enjoy, and I think it'd be a good line to introduce to people who are new to cruelty-free or vegan makeup because I think it will help to show them that they can get good products at a decent price. I think they did a really good job curating their line. I feel like they covered the solid bases. They didn't try and start with too many products. I feel like they picked ones that they did really well, and then they picked the shades that they had formulated really well, like with the lip gloss and the lipstick. They picked really solid shades, and I think that across the board, the formulas are really solid, and I really enjoy using them. I'll definitely continue to use them, and hopefully I will be able to update you guys as they expand their line. I would really like to see that from them in the future. So everything that I mentioned will be linked down below in the description box, as well as all of the other products from them. So make sure you guys check that out if you're at all interested. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much to iHerb for sponsoring it, and I'll see you next time.